The Great American Bash, July 7th, 1990. We're still in the 90s, very close. What, we have about two, three more pay-per-views in the
Yeah,
90s to go through. I know
we
we
got a
had
SummerSlam and a Survivor Series, and
Halloween Havoc.
I'll probably watch Halloween Havoc. I don't think we should do. I don't think Starrcade is going to be good for a little while. I mean, I'll check, but I don't think it is. I think Starrcade 90 might be like a fucking battle bowl or some shit.
Oh God. Oh yeah, and then like a tournament, right? Isn't
Most of
that-
them are, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, this one though, the tagline, the new revolution. The Four Horsemen's leader, Ric Flair, is still the world heavyweight champion, and he will be
Mhm.
facing back from injury. You know, he hurt his knee months ago after the Four Horsemen attacked him. Sting in a world heavyweight title match in the main event.
And they hype up Sting all night as like this is Sting's night, but all the heels are like, "Hey, he's fucked. Flair's got him."
Dude, it's kind of like oh what I'm already forgetting the last pay-per-view that we saw of WCW. What was it called?
We watched. It was Wrestle War, right?
Yeah, where they were, this is for Sting, and everyone had their wristbands and stuff. It's literally the same type of
Yeah,
vibe
they
you
love
get from them.
Sting.
I have a question. So before we start, and it's a little bit about, the opening and everything. What's your opinion on the venues that have the ramp on the same level as the ring?
Uh, there's pros and cons to it. The pros is you're above everybody when you're on the ramp, because it's easier to see the. I'm not really that big of a fan of it. We had it at Pro South for a few years, and
Yeah, the
I
one
guess
building
it kind of
before you
grew on
ran.
me because it was. Yeah, but even before that, we didn't have it that way. We had like the heel and babyface entrances, and then the one in the middle. But then after we kind of like reconfigured the room, we ended up having like the walkway to the ring. It grew on me, um, but I think that was just because like it's Pro South and I love it there. But if I see it like on TV, like WCW or something, I really don't enjoy it that much. There's always awkward shit where someone's thrown onto the stage.
And the
I guess
walking
it makes for
around
some
too, it's
cool.
like it's harder for that person to walk fully around the ring.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if I like it or not. Sorry, excuse me. I just remember my going to go see you before the new venue. You had it where it was directly to the ring, that ramp that you guys had. So
Yeah, I think we changed to that in like 2018, 2019 or something like that.
hmm,
And now we're
interesting,
at a whole new
interesting.
building where we
Yeah,
don't have the ramp leading directly to the ring.
and honestly, it's better. I like your entrances now with the doors
Oh,
in the corner and
I
everything.
much prefer it this way.
We should get like a red carpet for you. We should like change up your gimmick a little bit.
I don't
King
know, man.
King
I'm
Cameron.
kind of making leather jackets and Ace of the King. I can't impede on that.
Oh yeah, King of the South.
I'm kind of making leather jackets and fire work for me.
You should just go full pyromaniac.
Oh, I have, brother.
We should get you a flamethrower.
I've been thinking about it. I've been
Yeah,
debating a flamethrower.
that would be fucking awesome. But yeah, let's get right into
Yeah, sure.
this intro. The intro starts out and it's like the Declaration of Independence, with Sting, Flair, and the Horseman's face on it. Uh,
Yeah, Sting's declaring his independence from the Four Horsemen, I guess.
is that just not weird?
They're making use of the Great American Bash name and all that stuff. It's supposed to be like the real American celebration show or whatever. Which is you'll notice when Sting comes out and he has his entire red, white, and blue, like I guess gear and face paint. Like he literally gets the flag painted on his face.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. I when does Sting go full Sting face paint?
Oh man, well that's gonna be quite a few years from now, but that's part of the NWO angle.
Okay.
So 90, 95, 96.
I like Sting a lot. He's not, when I was growing up, he wasn't really like he was in TNA. So it's kind of hard.
Right.
I'm WWE guy, and it's just like I just watched WWE, so I never watched Sting growing up until now in my 20s, where I see him as a 98-year-old man wrestling in AEW, which is scary. So I never really got to see two thousands or even 90s Sting. So it's pretty cool to see Sting. I love Sting. Sting and Luger right
90s is where
now.
you want to be.
Sting, Luger, and Flair, I would say, are my top three right now in WCW.
Yeah, Luger's definitely been like my most pleasant surprise coming into the WCW shows. Like I've yet to see a Lex Luger match that I didn't really enjoy. And this show is not any different. I don't think this was quite to the level of Luger against Flair or Steamboat or even Brian Pillman, but fucking Future Undertaker did his thing, man.
Yeah. I mean, he's facing like a different type of opponent, if you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like Luger's facing this monster of a man, 7 foot tall, mean Mark Callis. When he's been facing, 5'9" Ric Flair or
Flair's a
six
little taller than
foot
that, I think.
Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who's
Yeah.
AFK. He's away
Yeah,
from keyboard.
where the fuck is Ricky Steamboat?
Ricky, I need
I
you to
don't even
sign back
remember.
into your profile.
I don't even remember when we because we looked it up like when he comes back to WWF because he comes back as just the Dragon at some point, I think. But I don't know, man. Maybe he's hurt or something right now. Who knows? Maybe he's just tired of wrestling because he has a kid.
Let's see. Yeah. So yeah, he returns in '91 as the Dragon.
Right.
What is it?
Oh, so he's in New Japan right now.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's in September and October of '90.
Oh,
Steamboat's last match
apparently.
was oh that match where he lost to Luger by DQ was his last one. The contract dispute.
Oh, also, he's very short-lived in his '91 return.
Oh yeah, of course, because
Like
he'll go back to WCW
in
in '91.
'92. Yeah, '91, I guess.
Yeah, November of '91.
Uh,
Well, that's cool. That at least gives
yeah.
us some interesting shit to look forward to.
Yeah. Steamboat was supposed to get squashed by the Undertaker and didn't want to.
That'll
That's what I was just reading on a Reddit thread, and he was back in WCW by '92. So, yeah. I mean, I
be a
don't
deep.
know. I don't play. It's gonna be good to see him again. Steamboat just needs to make up his mind. Uh, but also, people need to quit being assholes and give Steamboat the main championship and let him run for a year or two.
I know, come on. None of
That
this
should,
like having the belt and losing it first big title defense, man. Come on. Fuck that shit. It's one of the best dudes in the world, man. Family man, marketable, great guy. Why is he
yeah.
not world champion more often?
I
Why
mean,
is it just one time?
yeah. One time for 2 weeks, and then the next pay-per-view is gone. So,
It was two
uh,
weeks for us, but it's a few months in real time.
yeah. uh, I bet if you looked up Steamboat's longest reign of championship, it's probably 36 days, if I'd assume. That
Yeah,
would be my
probably.
guess. Dude, his son has to be like 30 now, right? Like in WCW. No,
Uh,
I'm not. I'm making a joke,
he's
like
gotta
because we
be.
haven't seen him
Oh,
forever. He's
oh.
gonna bring him out still in baby clothes, but he's actually gonna be 30 years old next time we see him.
In like goth makeup and shit, because that's the phase he's in.
That'd be awesome.
I don't want to go to your wrestling show, Dad.
God.
God.
But it's the pay per view. You always come back to the pay per view. Ricky Stevo, if you're hearing this, we love you
We absolutely do.
a lot. And yeah, you were robbed of a lot of things. So
So much that we're putting off talking about the shittiest Nature Boy I think I've ever watched on TV. Not seen, but watched on TV.
yeah, we start out. We have Bob Caudle and Jim Ross, of course. Uh, they're cool. Jim Ross is awesome. Bob Caudle's okay. Uh,
Jim Ross loves football, dude. Every match, again, like every match just gets a complete like sports history rundown of people to the point where I think I'm gonna start to memorize it soon.
You might have
Like
to watch the wrestlers play football. You might have to look at some YouTube videos.
fuck that. I know that Brian Pillman used to play for like the fucking Bengals or some
There
shit.
you go. Yeah, he played nose tackle.
And Mike Rotunda was in Syracuse, you know? Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah. If I didn't know that Captain Mike Rotundo played at Syracuse and wrestled there, I don't know what I'd do with my life. I have to know he was there for, he lettered all 4 years and was a state champion all 4 years. So
Oh yeah, dude. Hey, what was it? There's something he says to somebody at this show. He goes, "Let's just say that if it was 3rd and 1, they knew who to give the ball to."
yeah, I think he says that about
Oh,
uh
I have it written down, so when we get there, I'll know. But I have it written down.
7 foot. I think it says about 7'7", dude.
Oh, it is. He does not say that about Elegante.
Um, but yeah, so our first match we have Flying Brian versus Nature Boy
Yeah,
Buddy
the Nature
Lando.
Boy. Yeah, Buddy Landell. This is gonna start a nice trend where I think I'm just gonna go on the internet and send you videos of other people that wrestle as the Nature Boy. If they're a Nature Boy who's not also named Ric Flair, just assume that they're shit. I don't know if Buddy Landell was ever great in maybe earlier years or something, but this match he fucking sucked.
Yeah, no way he wins. So
I
against a
wrote that.
regular.
I wrote Landon's probably gonna ask about why there are so many Nature Boys.
Yeah, I don't. I was gonna ask like, is there a theme here? Why are they?
I
Why is Ric
mean,
Flair allowing this?
well, Ric Flair took it from someone, uh, and by took it, I really don't know what the fuck that means. Like I don't know if it was given to him
Well, I feel bad who
or
had it
what.
before him because Ric Flair just fucking
Yeah,
profited so much
yeah.
off
Ric
of it.
Flair is Ric Flair's the Nature Boy now. It's where whenever you see anyone play the Nature Boy gimmick, they're just copying Ric Flair. Um, Landell was a good wrestler, but was always seen as the discount Nature Boy. What the fuck?
He's the Dollar
Buddy
General Ric Flair.
Rogers. Buddy Rogers, I think, was like the first one, and then Ric Flair and Buddy Landell adopted the Nature Boy gimmick as a tribute to him. And then everybody else did it because Ric Flair is really cool. Everybody else does it on the shit indies. I also wrote in my notes, do not bring up Paul Lee. So let's move on.
All right. Hey, you care if I ever become a wrestler, I can be Nature Boy Landon?
I honestly I joke all the time about when I'm done having like serious stories and matches and shit, and I'm old. I just want to wrestle. I just want to come out in a robe and be Nature Boy Cameron Keese. I'll do a figure four. I don't give a shit. I'll chop. Who cares? I'll do
Uh,
it.
yeah, I'll get on my
But
knees
I
when the
wouldn't be mad at
person
all.
is
Let's
ahead.
let's all be Nature Boys. Let's just all do it. Clearly, anyone can.
Did you have anything
But you.
like cool about this match? I had,
Well, I mean,
Brian came out before his music hit. He was
yeah.
already at the ring basically when they
All
started
of their
playing
name
it.
bars were empty.
All their name bars were empty. There's a bunch of shots
WCW.
in this match where Buddy's just posing to the camera. I think
Hmm.
Caudle makes a joke to him like he's Mr. Atlas.
Yeah, Jim Ross just literally says, physique is not his forte. Like, okay. Jesus, dude. He has the nerve to say that about anybody on this fucking roster, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm not saying the roster is like, you know, all out of shape dudes, but there's a lot of dad bods on this roster and a lot of pushed dad bods on this roster. So to have a statement like that, I get the feeling that they just don't like Landell, and Buddy Landell's probably friends with whoever's fucking booking at this point. Maybe it's Ric Flair. Um, I noted that I think it looks like all the camera equipment from WCW is just years behind the WWF cameras, but that also could be because I think a lot of the WWF footage has been remastered over the years. But this WCW footage, some of this shit looks rough.
Yeah, there's some
Like I can't believe it's not in black and white.
there's some minutes in here which I wish WWE would have remastered from the fans. Uh, I also just think the venues at WCW are much darker than the venues at WWF because like the ramp shots, it's literally just the WCW logo and then black lights
Hmm.
right behind it. So I do feel like it's much darker than a
I
WWE.
feel like
I
that's
can
by
see it.
choice though, like because they want the reaction, they want all the focus to be on the action in the ring, and you to react to that. Whereas WWF, they're like, look at how big the fucking crowd is and how everyone's reacting to Hulk Hogan. Look at all their signs. NWA, it's like there's people in that dark shadow that like to count to 10 sometimes. Like that, you see what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
part of, I think it's more part of their presentation.
but hey, they're full
Eh,
tilt WCW now.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that's left about of NWA is the name of the belts.
Yeah, but like the ring, like last time, I think you pointed out the WCW at the top of the ramp, the logo, but now the ring,
Hmm.
it's all WCW all across.
Yeah,
So
and Ross is saying here in World Championship Wrestling a lot
yeah,
of times
World
instead of
Championship
saying
Wrestling.
in the
Yeah,
NWA. But I feel like the idea for this match is they wanted Brian Pillman to go out and have an exciting match and do some of his really cool offense. But the problem is they gave him a boring ass carny shit heel like Buddy Landell, who's literally not gonna work that way and just kind of works his slower pace and shit. And the crowd just does not get into this match at all until Brian Pillman climbs up to do the 10 punches. They count for that,
in the
but then
corner
rest
and
holds happen and then they're just like fuck, bro, like, whatever. Because they're into Pillman when he starts to fight back at first, and then he gets stopped and put in another goddamn rest hold, and the crowd just does not react at all when he starts to get out of it. Um, Honestly, I thought this kind of was like the match with itself was like kind of boring and really not what I've come to expect from WCW when it comes to openers. Like Brian Pillman, even when he was having matches against like he wrestled one of the Russian assassins at one point, didn't he, or some shit like that?
yeah, I think you did.
He was still doing
Yeah,
all of
he
his
he
offense,
wrestled
all of his
Russian Ass
high
Asian
flying
2,
stuff.
I think.
Yeah, yeah, he did. Yeah, but he was still doing like all of his cross bodies and his big flying shit, and then Ass Asian was just there to catch it. Buddy Landell's like not giving him time to do this shit, just kind of beating on him and putting him in boring ass rest holds. Um, so I really didn't enjoy this match that much. Brian, he flips over the ropes and then he hits a big crossbody off the top for the 3. Yay! Brian tried, but this kind of sucked. I thought Landell was like just not great at all, and you can go ahead and expect this from any Nature Boy at this point that isn't also named Ric Flair.
Oh god. Imagine they gave Buddy Landell the championship. That'd been awesome.
Yeah, why not?
Uh yeah, and then we kick it to Gordon Solly or Solly. Is it I always ask you, is it
Oh,
Solly?
solely,
Solly.
solely, yeah.
Um
Which is the only thing more boring than that last match is to go to an old man talking about a match that I wish I was watching.
yeah, he
I'd
basically just
much rather be
talking
watching.
he's talking about
We gotta have Sting challenging world champion Ric Flair later on tonight.
in Big Van Vader's debut.
God damn, did he ever?
Yeah. Next match though. Captain Mike Rotunda
Hell
versus
yeah.
one of the only 3 people in the world, you and me including, who hates Ric Flair right now in 1990, or not Ric Flair, but Hulk Hogan in 1990, the Iron Sheik.
Hell yeah. He definitely does not like Hulk Hogan.
No,
Um
God no.
I love that right off the bat. He just hits him with the flag and starts beating him up. I have missed the Iron Sheik so much.
I'm
It's one of those
curious.
things where you don't realize how much you need something until you have it.
Yeah,
Uh,
honestly.
it's this is literally the same start as the last match he had, you know, which I don't remember who it was against. Was it Sting?
Wasn't it supposed it was supposed to be Junkyard Dog, right? But it
That was
became someone
Muda.
else. That was Muda. Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I
who
think it
is
was like
she?
Sting defending the TV title against Sheik, and Sheik hits him with the flag, and then he beats him up for a bit, and then Sting beats him. They don't quite go that long. As a matter of fact, This match was like 7 minutes. By the way,
Wow.
Brian Pillman and Buddy Landell went 9 and a fucking half. But Mike
9.5.
Rotunda, yeah, Mike Rotunda and Sheik here go 6:46.
Yeah, and
But let's
like
see.
3 minutes of it was Mike Rotunda trying to get his jacket off.
Yeah, but Sheik's not letting him, because he's got the upper hand here with his flag, and he's got the cheap shot with him. He's got him against the wall here, so just keep beating him up. I love, well, loved is not the word I would use here. I took note of the fact I found intriguing that Jim Ross calls, he refers to him attacking him before the
It's
bell as
terrorist attack.
a terrorist attack, dude. God damn. But he just follows that up with the sports history of Mike Rotunda.
Yep. Well, you got to. That's like a quick dig at Sheik, and
Yeah.
then it's like, oh hey, by the way, Mike Rotunda, Syracuse All-American,
Oh yeah, dude, all American. Every
football,
bit of
wrestling.
American you can be, all of it.
I've seen a lot of bad football games and Super Bowls, but never a bad
Yeah.
Great American Bash.
Well, I've definitely seen a Great American Bash after tonight. I don't know if I've seen another good one, but I've definitely seen a Great American Bash. I thought last year's Great American Bash fucking blew this one out of the water, but it did have a War Games
Mm-hmm.
and Ric Flair versus Terry Funk, so But
Remember?
I thought Sheik was kind of working here, man. Like he's bumping around for Rotunda.
Yeah, 48-year-old Iron Sheik, by the way.
He
Not bad.
smacks the piss out of Rotunda at one point, and this huge splash of sweat comes flying off of his face. And then a backslide wins from Rotunda. Like the finish was kind of boring, but like the crowd and Jim Ross explode for it.
Yeah. I mean, it is weird, when Iron Sheik is on the offense for 3/4 this match, which, in my opinion, it's pretty funny just to see Sheik wrestle at his age right now. And
Yeah,
doesn't he become a manager
he
soon?
still has that '70s like style to him.
Doesn't
At
doesn't
some point,
yeah,
yeah.
that's what I thought. Uh,
I feel like he he's back in WWF as a manager soon.
okay, well, good. I'm
By
glad for
next
that.
WrestleMania, I think, perhaps. I could be wrong.
We're on 7.
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, I know what the main event for 7 is, and I'm not really looking forward to it,
Oh,
but
I already know too. It's Bad News Brown.
right.
Uh,
Okay, never mind. I had it
bad,
wrong. Yeah, I'm already looking forward to it then.
yeah, Bad News Brown, who's now champion, defeated Ultimate
Uh-huh.
Warrior. He's double champion. Um, he's been it for going on almost a year because he wins it at SummerSlam against Ultimate Warrior.
Okay.
He is now facing the Dragon, and
Oh,
in a
well, that's yeah.
2 out of 3 falls match.
Okay, well, that's actually a great main event for WrestleMania, and it's much better than the one that I thought we were getting. I
Yeah,
really hope
I don't know if you've
some
seen the
kind of
right
glitch in the
WrestleMania
Matrix
7, so.
happened. I sure hope not, because yours sounds a lot better.
Dude, I would if that was actually the WrestleMania 7 main event, I would turn into the number one biggest wrestling fan of all time. If you
You'd
gave
lose your
me
fucking mind.
I would if they gave me a Bad News Brown versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat best 2 out of 3 falls. Um, and also once you pin someone, your next fall cannot be a pin, it has to be a submission. They should make that a rule. You should do that here. Get
All
Pro
right.
South to do that. That sounds like a great idea.
Okay, say this again now. This was a
Okay.
lot. Say it again.
So you should do a 2 out of 3 falls match. But
Okay.
let's say if you were to pin me,
Uh-huh.
then to get your second fall, it has to be by submission.
Uh, some people have done some stuff like that. It has a
Damn
tendency
it.
to get a little confusing. Three stages of hell is what people tend to go to now, where like each of the three falls have some crazy hardcore stipulation.
Mm.
They can get pretty fun. But I see what you're saying though. I don't hate that. You have to do like pretty much everything to beat them. You have to make them tap. You have to pin them, and then I don't know what would be the third one. Make them bleed or some shit.
Well, it's 2 out of 3, so you gotta get two, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. You just gotta
Pin and make him
yeah, you just
submit.
gotta get it before they make you pin and submit. That's not yeah. There's something to that. There's something to that.
All right, yeah. Run it by
Yeah,
Ace for me.
yeah, yeah. He's probably listening. Ace,
Ace,
this guy's got an idea, man.
I got an idea.
Let's
There
bring
you
him
go.
in. Let's bring him in.
What if you
Consultant,
did?
a writing consultant.
Oh God, you wouldn't want me writing, bro. You'd be champion longer than Bruno San Martino.
Yeah, I would never want you to do that.
You'd be champion at 40, Cameron.
Oh man, I mean, I got a few more years.
But yeah, Rotunda wins.
How'd you feel about this match?
It was fun to see Sheik again.
Yeah, that's
Like I
about all I
mentioned
have.
earlier, he's on offense 3/4 of the whole goddamn match. And it's cool to see a guy like Mike Rotunda get his ass beat by someone like Sheik. And then it's just like, why is he getting his ass beat? And then, he eventually turns the table on him. Uh,
With a backslide.
yeah. Where is wait no, he's in the Horseman, right? Uh
Oh, Sid?
yeah, Sid. Yeah.
Sid's in the Horseman, yeah. The better question is where the fuck is Kevin Sullivan?
Yo, dog, I didn't even think about that. You're right. Well, he's
That's the only
Captain
thing I was missing.
Mike Rotunda now, so
I'd have taken Kevin Sullivan against Doug Furness, although I did love Dutch Mantel. How about Brian Pillman versus Kevin Sullivan, man? Fuck Buddy Landell.
yeah.
Get him out of there.
How about or fuck, I forgot his name. Kevin what's his name? I'm drawing a blank. The guy you just said.
Sullivan?
Yeah, I don't know why I just lost his last name. Kevin
How'd
Sullivan
you lose
versus
that?
I don't know. Versus Iron Sheik would have been great.
Oh, that would have been amazing. Two heels, but I don't care.
Uh
They're both more exciting to me than Mike Rotunda.
next
I just don't
match.
find Mike Rotunda that exciting. I don't know what it is about it. Like I thought the match was fine. It wasn't like it was bad. I just didn't really enjoy it that much.
The match that we just saw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rotunda and but before that match, man, Harley Race has to tell us who he thinks going to win the main event.
Yeah. Harley Race is in WCW now, Cameron.
Yes, he is. He's not a king.
Just Harley
He's a former
Race
champion,
in a
and he
purple.
lost to Tommy Rich like 10 years ago, and he's still mad about it.
Yeah, yeah. Race. He was bringing up the fact that Rich beat him all those years ago to win the champion. Harley Race is like top 10 in most world championships won, right? He has 8.
Uh, Probably. I mean, he's definitely like very highly regarded.
That's awesome.
Like to where he could just, pretty much walk back into NWA and like, hey, I want to wrestle, and they go, fuck yeah, you do, because
That's
he's
really
here till 95,
damn.
and then he'll make a slight return in 99, not wrestling, but like, yeah, he'll make an appearance.
Wow. Harley Race, a year younger than our guy Iron Sheik.
Oh, and yeah, and there they go, both having 6.5 minute matches on this show. But so I felt like this first half is just a bunch of shit that they don't think really matters that much, and they just want to spend the entire time trying to hype up the second half of the match, like the Horseman match or the title matches. Um, and how do I know that they don't care and that this shit isn't important? Because Harley Race ends his promo with talking about the main event, not his own match.
It,
Really, any of the people interviewed tonight care about their own match. It's about Sting and Flair.
yeah, he's talking about how, if Flair isn't on his toes tonight, he's going to get beat. And he's like, Flair might be a beaten man. So,
You got to have not every heel going with Flair. You got to have the baby face that seems knowledgeable to be like, well, Flair could do it. And then you got to have the heels to be like, I think it's Sting's night. Because it
uh,
can't just be all babies are for Sting, all heels are for Flair. It can't just be that. That would be too simple.
it's no first ever Royal Rumble where only heel hit heel or heel hit face and face hit heel.
No, it's every man for themselves in terms of who you want to win the main event. But not one person was like, it doesn't matter who wins the main event because they're just holding the belt until I can get to them. No one did that, man. I like that kind of shit. Fuck the main event. If you're not in it, why the fuck do you care? But I get it. But like in terms of their characters, like why the fuck does Harley Race care who's gonna win between Sting and Ric Flair? You know?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, he'll never get back to that championship mentality. So
I mean, even without that, like, why is he not a self-centered asshole who thinks he's the best? Why does he give a fuck?
yeah, he should. Yeah, I mean, I agree. He should just be like, I think I'm gonna go kick fucking uh, what was his name? Goddamn Tommy Rich's ass. I don't give a fuck about
Yeah.
that match. But speaking
He should
about
have.
probably the greatest match of all time is which is our next match. Doug Furnas versus uh motherfucking God, I have it up. Dutch
Zeb
Mantel.
Coulter, bro.
Okay, I wrote that down. That is Zeb Coulter.
Yeah, it absolutely is Zeb
I
Coulter.
wrote Dutch reminds me of Jack Swagger's manager Zeb Coulter.
Well, that's because he is. But man, I thought Dutch Mantel was fucking awesome in this match.
Is this not the most Doug Furnas versus Dutch Mantel match of all time? They
I
just
mean, yeah, it is like it was very paint by number in the sense of like what both of them do, but dude, Dutch Mantel made this dude look great.
yeah. World's Strongest Man, Doug Furnas.
Sure. It's no Dino Bravo, but you know, whatever.
Dude, we
That's who was strongest in the world on WWF, right? Because he
yeah,
was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
doing the powerlifting. Yeah. Um, I love the look of Dutch Mantel. It, holy shit, dude! This dude didn't give a shit what he looked like when he came out of that dressing room. He's got like his as JR refers to it, his ZZ Top like appearance, which is certainly one way of describing it. I don't know if it's the only way I describe it, but he's got like his tight or no his singlet that like doesn't match his knee pads and boots in the fucking slightest, and he just looks disgusting, but it's awesome.
I honestly thought this was another Mick Foley gimmick. Um,
It looks like he could have been like the whole time. I was like, this could look like Cactus Jack. Like this could have been Cactus Jack.
because like he switches every other day what he is. So, uh, no, but seriously though, like Dutch. What was our guy's name in WWF that you said looks he couldn't be more than
Oh,
this
Ron
guy?
Bass.
Yeah, that's the same for Dutch in here. I feel like
Yeah, he looks like Dutch Mantel. He could not look more like Dutch Mantel if he tried.
Dutch could join the Bushwhackers tomorrow, and I would think there's a triplet.
There's
Uh,
certainly plenty of bush to whack for this guy. Like this dude is covered in hair.
no, but yeah, I mean, just like you mentioned, some of my notes for the match. Doug Furnas, holy shit, is he not athletic as hell? Uh,
Yeah,
I mean, they do. He does like a drop click or drop click. What the hell am I talking about? He does a drop kick, and then he does a press slam on Dutch to start the match. And I mean,
yeah,
he's doing backflips. He's jumping up and down, jumping over Dutch, and I'm like, God damn, this guy's so good, bro.
yeah.
Uh,
He does like a bunch that little sequence where it's like drop down, leapfrog, drop down, leapfrog.
yep.
Then he gorilla presses him. Dutch sells that like death. Then he like slaps the fuck out of him, and then they do it again, and he gets the slam. Great spot, I thought. Uh, it was a little too much when he kind of did it the next time, but
Besides Zeb Coulter, do you know anything about Doug Furnas besides this match?
Doug Furnas will be in a tag team later on. Like I don't think his singles run will last too long. He gets in a tag team with Philip LaFawn at some point. I think that's his name. At some point, and I don't remember if where they mostly wrestle at that point because I think they pop up in ECW a little bit, and I think they'll be in WWF for a while. But I don't ever really remember anything big coming from a Doug Furnace singles run. Although I could be wrong, and we got plenty of years left before I really started keeping up with wrestling that we get to watch through. But he does get a sports history. This is who it was about. Let's put it this way: when it was 3rd and 1, we knew who was going to carry the ball. That was Jim Ross explaining Doug Furnace's high school football career. I guess I'm not sure. Um,
Hmm.
what I do like about this match is that so I'll say this: when it comes to the wrestling, Furnace is fine, but holy shit, does he not owe a lot of thank yous to Dutch Mantel for making him look so much better in this match? Like Mantel never really takes the full control. Like he'll cheat his way out to get the upper hand for a minute, but he'll quickly get caught by Furnace doing some like overpowering or some big power spot to get control back. Because it looks exactly like it should. This match makes perfect sense. Where Doug Furnace, he's the strongest man in the world, and Dutch Mantel, he's just fucking dirty, and it just works. Like even from the floor when he's pinning Mantel, he just launches him off of him. You can go now. I think I.
No, I mean, honestly, like my thing with, I mean, you just hit the nail on the head. It's just Dutch looks so good in this match, or Doug looks so good in this match because of Dutch,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean, there's nothing really else to say on that. I know the ref gets hit here. Also, in my notes, I wrote that Flying Brian lost, but
Well,
he won,
he,
right?
yeah, he won. He only lost in the sense of he had to wrestle Buddy Mandel in the opener, but he won that match though.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because I mean, okay. That's what I was confused about and lost for words a second ago because I was like, did I just? I thought,
You oopsied. No,
yeah, I thought
we
Buddy.
lost because we had to watch a Buddy Landell match.
I was thinking that Buddy Landell he reversed the high crossbody into like a pin, but I guess I was wrong. No way, I was
I
right.
think he probably reversed one into something, but like Pillman got out.
Yeah.
Um,
Belly to
so
belly
did
suplex.
yeah, did you find this ending as awkward though as I did?
Uh, in words of what?
It just looked like they were kind of struggling to get. It looks like they fell out of sync for a minute. Like they start doing a lot of like awkward strikes, and it looks like they actually kind of like start to argue, for realsies for a second, and then we get the awkward random belly to belly. It just seemed like
Yeah, because
I don't know.
doesn't
It looked like they kind of got into it for a little bit.
yeah, because Doug hits him with like a shoulder tackle and a spin and a slam before it is the belly to belly, right? Because I think this match is over 10 moves before the ending.
That's a pretty good way of putting it.
Um, but yeah, no, I agree with you that thinking that yeah, the ending is weird. But yeah, he does. Doug kind of like fakes him out and he does a surprise belly to belly suplex and wins the match by pinfall. So
Yeah. I thought the match was a little long. It was 11 minutes. Uh
11 minutes. They gave me 11 minutes of Doug and
11:18
Dutch.
to be fair, but
Wow, I needed like
I
30.
but it's still been the best match to the show. Granted, that's saying nothing. But I thought Dutch Mantel looked pretty good. He made Doug Furnace look great, but me having the wrestler eyes coming out of this, I was very impressed with Dutch Mantel.
Hmm. Well, okay. Well, after the match, we get a little Jim Cornette interview. Jim Cornette, pro, uh, besides wrestling wise, Jim Cornette is my favorite. If you include manager, commentators, interviewers, Jim Cornette's my number one.
Yeah. Jim Cornette is great. I still wish he wouldn't really care about the Ric Flair Sting match. He's got the hottest tag team in the business. He doesn't need to give a shit about Ric Flair, but he is like a fucking diehard wrestling historian. So his opinions. He thinks his. I'm not gonna say he thinks his opinions matter. His opinions matter to certain people. But this is fucking 1990 where podcasts don't exist yet, and this dude's still. Even then, this dude had to get his opinion out. But I just don't understand why, like I said, Jim Cornette needs to give a fuck about who's winning the main event. He needs to hype up the fact that the wild-eyed Southern boys are in for the fight of their lives.
Southern Boys making their debut today, right? We haven't seen them before.
Yes, yeah, and I kept getting them confused the entire match, even though like I've seen slash met Tracy Smothers one time and like in passing at a show, like some
What?
show
Look
called
at
like
you.
Warpath or some shit in like Dunlap, Tennessee, and he was there doing like he was doing an appearance. So it was this simple like, oh hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you, Cameron. Yeah, that was it. But I didn't have like conversation with the dude. But a lot of people that I've been around like over the last few years have got a lot of great things to say about Tracy Smothers.
What
Full-blooded
about
Italian. You wouldn't know it by looking at him or listening to him talk. But
what about Steve Armstrong? Nothing good for him.
I haven't run into him. Is he one of the Armstrong family? If that's the case, and yeah, he's one of the Armstrongs. So that I mean, I've met Bullet Bob before he died once or twice, but that was about it.
Bullet Bob Armstrong. 59 years old. Glad you're still alive with us, Steve.
Yes,
6'1"? Kind of short.
Tracy Smothers though, not Tracy Smothers has passed away
Rest in peace, Tracy Smothers.
at 58, dude. Damn.
That always scared
So
me.
anyway,
The 50s. 50s are scary. Uh,
oh yeah,
but our next match, uh, every grandpa in the world probably standing up, getting ready for this heater that they're about to put on. Uh,
yeah, but that's just to stretch their legs.
yeah, and walk out of the room. Uh, but yeah,
Time to piss.
yeah, guys, piss match, piss match. See you guys in six
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah, you got
uh,
6.5 minutes, dude.
but we have Harley Race versus Wildfire, Tommy Rich. Who
In
we?
my notes, I wrote, "Fucking Tommy Rich is back," and then the next line is, "Fucking Harley Race is back."
Two
Tommy Rich
former,
once beat Race for the title or some shit. Who
yep,
knows?
two former world champions. Uh, Harley Race monuments. Lee more
Yeah.
popular than Tommy Rich, right?
Yeah, I'd say. And they wrestle exactly the way you'd think they would wrestle.
Yep.
Until uh Harley Harley Race knees Tommy Rich and hits a pile driver. And then Tommy Rich gives this pile driver the weirdest sell I've ever seen a pile driver given. Did you see a few weeks ago on SmackDown when Kevin Owens gave Randy Orton the
A
pile
pile
driver,
driver.
and
Yeah.
this was like,
It's illegal,
holy
right?
shit, the world is over. Orton's life is fucked up. He
Uh-huh.
might never get to move again. Harley Race gives a pile driver to Tommy Rich, and he just kind of like stands up and stumbles to the corner, and then wrestles for 4 more minutes.
It's that
Yeah,
bad. It's that bad.
yeah, but these fucking new school guys, man, they don't sell shit. They're killing the business. Whatever, dude.
The tombstone, that's not illegal nowadays, right? Just the normal pile driver.
Yeah, I mean the lore for WWE has been like the pile driver's been is like banned except the Undertaker's because it's like a unsafe and dangerous move. The shooting star was for a while too until Evan Bourne was like, "Hey, I can do this flawlessly." And they go, "Yeah,
By
you sure
golly,
can."
did he?
Yeah. And then Neville or Pac doing the corkscrew one. But you
But
have to prove to them like you can do it flawlessly, like, perfect execution before they're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Because there's several people that have been signed over the years that just aren't allowed to use the moves that got them there because WWE deems them unsafe. Like the Hurricane was using a fucking vertebreaker in
what?
uh in WCW, but when he got to WWE, they're like, fuck that, you're gonna kill somebody.
I gotta look up his debut because I'm excited for the Hurricane.
Well, he shows up. in about 2000 at WCW, and then he'll come over to WWE with the Invasion.
Like later. Yeah.
Yeah, we got 10 years of podcast time.
I don't know how we're gonna make it through without the hurricane, bro.
Yeah.
You know who I need to debut fast? Mr. Mark Henry.
96, 97 or so, I think.
96. Dude, oh my
He'll be in and out. Like they'll be like, "Oh, look, Olympian Mark Henry's here," but he won't really be a big thing until he's a member of the nation in about 97 or 98, I think. I don't really remember what, because there's chapters of the nation. I know when The Rock became the leaders in like 98, but I don't remember if Mark Henry joined before or after, or before then, or like before The Rock was even in it.
Yeah.
I don't remember. But anyway, Tommy Rich gets suplex on the runway, and Race just
Yeah,
starts
he
kicking his
does.
ass.
Yeah, he does.
And for
Also, I
some
gotta
reason,
point
the
out
heat
real
he's
quick.
giving him is. All right, go ahead.
I gotta point out real quick. The match starts out. They do a headlock. Rich gets thrown out of the ring, and they're kind of being their old self, not really moving a lot. And then Rich gets back in the ring. It instantly throws Race out the ring, and it's like, oh, Race is gonna struggle getting up off the ground, and Tommy Rich is just gonna stand in the ring. It's like we are 48 seconds into this match, and we're already having to take breaks like this. Uh,
Oh man, this whole roster loves to throw their opponents out of the ring. Like there gets to a point where with these tag matches where it just happens all over again, man.
it's DQ nowadays.
Yeah, I'm trapped in stare down hell. But for some reason, Race putting heat on Tommy Rich was the funniest shit to me. Until he goes to like grab the ropes, like he's gonna flip Race into the ring, and then he flips it over on him, slamming Race on the floor. He gets in the ring, and then he just waits for Harley Race to come back in. All right, yeah, that's a good strategy. He drops a big fist on Race for a 2, and then Race needs Rich to take over, belly to belly, and he kicks out it immediately, despite the match we just fucking saw, where someone won with a belly to belly suplex. And we get to a point where Race is just doing random wrestling moves to Rich while the crowd just doesn't react at all. This crowd is here for Sting and seemingly nothing else.
That's why I was here.
And he does a Harley Race spot. Harley Race does a Harley Race spot, and they both go over the top. They get right back in, and Rich goes for a crossbody off the top, and Race rolls through and pins Tommy Rich. And they called this an upset. What the fuck ever?
The right man win. Or
Yeah,
wins.
yeah, he sure as fuck did. He sure did. Anyway, I don't want to just shit on Tommy Rich, but like this dude is not doing the shit in the ring that honestly anyone on this show so far, with the exception of maybe Buddy Landell, is doing. And he's not as entertaining. And he looks like a Flair clone, but he's not named Nature Boy. I don't know, man. I just have not been impressed with Tommy Rich in the 2 showings he's had. And honestly, outside of somewhat of the last match, Great American Bash has not been doing that well for me.
Yeah, it's off to a very slow start, but
Yeah, it's very slow. I mean, it
hopefully,
picks up, don't get me wrong, but
yeah, hopefully we'll pick it up soon. In my
I feel like
opinion,
the
it
last
will.
3 matches are really good.
Yeah, most definitely. Uh, but yeah, after the match, we get a Gordon. He's interviewing Mean Mark Callis and his manager, Polly Dangerously, bro. What a duo do we have here?
Yeah, but first I got to talk about the main event.
Who did they have in the main event?
I
Ric
once
Flair,
they started
probably.
talking about Flair and Sting, I kind of tuned out until Mean Mark struggled to rip a shirt.
Yeah. It's also weird because we saw him in street clothes, not street clothes, but like jeans and a button up, kind of like, you know what I mean? whatever the biker type shit he wore last time we saw
Yeah, because
Undertaker.
they were in a street fight.
Yeah,
And
and now
today
he's
we're
in
gonna
a.
see chaps and trunks
Yep,
Undertaker, man.
yep. Yeah. Next match we have the NWA US Tag Team Title match. The Midnight Express, who were the champions at the time, with their manager, my one of one pick, Jim Cornette, versus the Southern Boys.
Who have the most boring entrance I think I've ever seen.
Southern Boys, their trunks, I think it's the Alabama flag, but they're from Tennessee,
It's
which,
just I thought it was like the typical like Confederate color shit.
yeah, it's like the
I honestly don't remember what the Alabama flag looks like. It's
it's
definitely not the Alabama flag actually. The Alabama flag is literally just a
a
fucking red X.
and what they had a red X with stars on their ass.
Yeah, so I think that was just like Confederate colors or whatever,
Okay, never mind. I guess I'm wrong there.
heritage or whatever. Heritage, not hate. I don't know.
Yeah, what'd you think about this flawless match?
Uh, so I think this match had its moments. I definitely don't think it was dragging to the point that the other matches had up to this. But you remember at Halloween Havoc when I wholeheartedly shit on this tag division because every match had to have this portion where the teams stopped wrestling and stared across the ring at each other. Well, they do that quite a few times in this one. Um, they start to brawl right away and they lock up. Hell yeah, that's what you do. I don't know about Wild Eyes, but these are definitely two Southern boys, that's for sure. Bobby does probably one of the most like beautiful body slams I think I've ever seen. Armstrong hits a big ass monkey flip and a great drop kick. Also, from here on, when I say either of the Southern boys, if I got them wrong, I apologize. I literally was writing Armstrong the entire match before I realized that he tagged Tracy Smothers like minutes ago, and I had to try to redo my notes and fix it up. And I don't know if I got it all, but eating powders to the floor. They do this thing. They stop wrestling because fuck that, and they stare at each other.
But did you
But a fucking
hear?
super kick happens. Go ahead.
Did you hear what Cornette yells at the beginning of this? And the cameras pick it up very well.
I did not.
Why don't you sit down and wipe that smug look off your face, you pig face moron?
Okay.
My guy Jim Cornette, everyone.
Yeah,
Total fan there.
It's much more. It has much more sting to it than Banana Nose Jerk.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
So here comes a
To
neat
every
little
point.
spot here. I can't remember if it's Armstrong or Smothers. One of the Southern boys hits like the big super kick. They call it a savate kick or whatever. Like one of the Wild Samoans do, or
Yeah.
not Wild Samoans, the Samoan SWAT team.
So that's what they, yeah.
Rikishi, Fatu, or does it as well in WWF. But he does that like a number of times. But then Stan Lane comes in and he tries to match the karate. And he starts to do like karate strikes and karate kicks. And the crowd starts eating this up.
I
And
was,
I
dude. Did
start
you?
thinking
I
to
love
myself,
that. I loved it.
I did, but I thought for a minute, like, why the fuck is the heel doing this? Like, why is the heel doing the cool shit? But it pays off because I guess it's Armstrong. He gets another super kick and then he kicks Eaton as he comes in. They got me. They got me. I hated the stare downs, but at least they paid it off. Great spot. And they go back to wrestling, man. Fucking lame. Stan Lane pretty much wrestles himself for a minute, and by that I mean
An hour.
no, he does this shit where he'll drop toe hold, go across his back into a headlock, slip past, and put himself in a hammerlock for the Southern boy he's got, and then he'll reverse that into a headlock, and then he'll do the whole thing again. Basically, just putting himself into holds for the guy. Um,
Hey, what a
they get to a
veteran
point
move
where
by
they're,
Stan Lane, though.
oh, dude, absolutely. Um, Jim Ross makes this great line here where after the Southern boys are kind of starting to get things going in their favor, he goes, "I just didn't think that the Southern boys are generally that good." What? All right. We get a cool spot where Smothers flips over the ropes and does a drop kick through the ropes. I thought that
Yep.
was pretty neat.
Hmm.
Very fast sequence where Smothers dodges both guys, and then Armstrong comes off the top. All hell breaks loose, and there's like 40 pin attempts with everyone,
Dude,
and
and
then the
that
crowd's losing it.
yeah, the quick
Go ahead.
pans into the the 40 pin attempts. And I think every guy gets one on someone else, which is very cool.
Yeah, like they definitely get a nice little like fast, exciting sequence going here. But then guess what they do? They stop wrestling and they fucking stare at each other. And then this far into the match, they lock up.
Because you
Yeah.
have to restart.
Why? That's the thing is we don't have to restart. Where was I in my notes here? Smothers gets thrown into the barricade. Cornette even gets a cheap shot with the racket. This commotion leads to Sand Lane sending Smothers into the barricade off the apron. And then his celebration of it was amazing. Like he's like air guitaring and shit. Big leg drop from Eaton, dude, off the ropes. Fucking ow. They
Yeah,
they
because
Midnight Express him.
I think
Go ahead.
Jim Ross says Bob Eaton took one for the team, so Stan Lane now can come in and do all the rest of the grunt work for the rest of the match. Because
That makes sense.
it was an awful fall for a leg drop.
Yes, that shit looked painful. And then he just gets Midnight Expressed, and by that I mean they kick his ass and they kick it well, and they do it in sync, flawless. The chemistry between Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton is just incredible, and the honestly the only team on this show that has similar chemistry is the Rock and Roll Express.
Yep.
And man, with these two on opposite ends of the show entirely, I was so upset. But I get it; they can't wrestle each other every show. I just wish they could.
Tracy
Um,
Smothers, though, was getting his ass kicked for a while in this match, and I think the hot tag to Armstrong was fucking perfect.
yes.
In a sense
Um,
of he kept both Stan Lane and Bobby Eaton in the ring, trading blows back to him, back to Eaton, back to Lane, back to Eaton, and just kicking both their ass at the same time is whenever we see hot tags nowadays, I feel like in the 90s, it's like, all right, big clothesline, that person's just going to roll out the ring.
yeah, and he hits the other guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. This was different because both were in there to get like the big, for him to come in and just go punch crazy on. I noted here that every time they do like the head bash into the corner, it sounds so painful. It literally just sounds like pure steel, just like clink, clink, clink. Uh, and then it breaks down into a mess. But it was an entertaining mess. It was like car crash you can't look away from kind of mess. So I'm gonna try to describe what goes on here. The Southern boys they hit their moves and all that, but the ref is just blatantly not looking because he's following Armstrong over to go knock Eaton out of the ring, and he finally counts, but Lane kicks out at one. Armstrong climbs up to the top right in front of Eaton, who obviously would just shove him straight off, and then Smothers stares at his partner getting double teamed. Then the Midnights hit the rocket launcher, and the ref looks away again. Smothers gets in, and instead of breaking up the pin, waits for Eaton to come and hit him. So the pin just gets stalled. And then Armstrong still kicks out. It's so chaotic. And then a mess of shit happens, and Eaton small packages Armstrong. What a mess towards the end. But all in all, I did think this was a pretty good match. Um, I wasn't a fan of the stopping and all that, but at least it had good shit before and after it. Um, and the finish was just hilarious to me. But all in all, I don't think this was a bad match at all. I quite enjoyed it. It was 18 minutes, so that's pretty long. Especially, it's the longest match on this show, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
Midnight Express proves to me again they're a great tag team. Wild Eyed Southern Boys proved to me that I think that they had the potential to be a really great tag team, and I'm kind of hoping I get to see more of them. just clean some of this shit up. But honestly, pretty good match. I liked it.
I would like to say kudos to anyone who is having to jump off the top rope onto their legs or knees.
Yeah, fuck
Because
that, bro.
when Bobby Eaton pushes Armstrong off the top rope before the Midnight hits the rocket launcher, whenever he falls off the top and has to like land on his like feet, the knees, I just congratulations to you for having perfect legs, bro.
Yeah,
Cause
I mean, I myself do a frog splash, and my knees are in like terrible pain over it.
yeah, cause I would not survive. I'm just not built for that. So congratulations to whoever does that. Um, but yeah, and like you mentioned, the Midnight Express wins, and all is good in the earth. So
Yeah, or
uh,
at least the U.S. tag title picture.
yeah, yeah. Uh, next up, we get a fabulous Freebird interview. No interview
Oh,
is
it is
done
fabulous.
backstage at all, right?
Nah,
It's
they're just
literally
all
at
out
the
in the
ring.
crowd today. There was nothing that happened backstage at all. The only
Yeah.
time they cut away from anything was for the interview with Ric Flair when the arena was empty because Ric Flair's not walking out there with all those fucking people.
No, fuck no. But yeah, the fabulous Freebirds now are wearing all glitter and sparkly outfits
They're
with
doing this glam kind of shit.
makeup now. Yeah.
They still had a great promo here. I was just excited that they didn't take time to talk about the main event. They talked about their match. They actually more or less talked about themselves. Uh, and Michael Hayes had probably one of the greatest lines I've ever heard of. There ain't nothing with four wheels that we can't drive, and nothing with four legs that we can't ride. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Awesome. Michael Hayes is actually awesome, and I'm no longer afraid to accept it and admit it. I think Michael Hayes is great.
Michael Hayes is great. Okay.
Yeah. Cameron Keys, 2024. Go ahead. Quote me.
Make Michael Hayes great again or whatever.
No, Michael Hayes is just great.
Well,
Uh,
congratulations to Michael Hayes. You get the key stamp of approval. And you know what? I'll back it. Michael P. Hayes,
can
right?
I PS Hayes? The
P.S. Hayes.
PS is supposedly stands for pretty sexy.
P.S. I love you.
Yeah. PS I love you, Michael Hayes.
Yeah. Yeah. What were you
Hey,
gonna say?
can I introduce the next match?
Yeah, of course.
All right. Just know that when I say this, I don't mean this from a place of hate. It's a meme, and I can't wait for you to understand it one day. But next up, we have Z-Man, Tom Zank, versus the big fat piece of shit, Big Van Vader. All right, you can go. You can go now.
That sounds like like a boss man comment.
It probably fucking sucks to be Z-Man today, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, Tom
'Cause
Zink, I feel
he
so
has
bad for
to
you, brother.
he has to face a giant metal elephant
How was
wearing
this?
Vader.
Less than 3 minutes?
This was 216.
Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah. Not really too much to talk about here. It's just how you'd expect. Big Van Vader's debut. This is his debut match, which is pretty cool. Uh,
In North America, yeah.
in North America versus Z-Man. Vader, he comes out to
It
he
sounds like
like
Iron Man, doesn't it?
yeah. But he comes out in this like Japanese armor, and it's like
Yeah,
the
it's like big
coolest
ass
shit you'll see
elephant.
ever. So
It starts steaming at one point, and Ross is like, "There's nothing attached to that could be making it steam." Like clearly something is because it's steaming. But okay, dude.
sports.
Did
I'm Jim
Z-Man
Ross.
attempt anything
No, I think
offensive?
no. I think he tried to run, but then the ropes brought him back to Vader.
I think, yeah, I think he attempted like a single drop kick. Because Vader just kicks his ass. The assignment to Z-Man was clearly let Vader kick your ass, and he understood because he didn't really attempt shit. He just sold uneasiness until he had to sell punches. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know how much he had to sell. Vader is historic. It was just he's from Japan, not from Japan, but he made his like his career mostly like wrestling in Japan and beating the living fuck out of people and smelling bad, but he's a millionaire because who the fuck cares what he smells like? Because he's just gonna punch you in the fucking face if you have anything to say about it.
He's here
I
for a
Okay,
while,
go ahead.
right?
Yeah, Vader is fucking here to stay, at least in WCW for a few years. He'll be a top guy relatively soon, I believe. Um, and then he'll go to WWE where it won't quite be as colorful and successful. But he will go to WWE in about 96, I believe. I
Yeah,
thought Vader looked pretty good here. I mean, of course he did. All he did was beat the fuck out of the dude. But if you were to look at him in today's eyes, you would think like, who is this, Southern shitbird piece of shit who's just wearing a mask and a singlet? But in 1990 eyes, holy fuck, dude, Big Van Vader's here. And this is a big deal. And it is. And I promise you that as far as WCW goes, Vader's gonna live up to this hype.
yeah, he is awesome. I put the title on him.
And his well, and his the mask wasn't the Vader mask that I associate with Vader, but I'll take it. Um, but I'm sure that mask shows up at some point. He's got to have it in WCW. It's not just a WWE mask. I'm pretty sure.
Also, what's weird is like, did we just trade? We're gonna give you Great Muda, you give us Vader? Because where the hell is Great Muda at on this card?
Yeah, he went back to Japan, I guess.
Hmm. Interesting. But yeah, Vader wins squash match. See you later, Tom. Um, but yeah, after this match though, we have the Four Horsemen interview. Four
Yeah,
Horsemen.
three of them.
Yeah, well, three horsemen with their
The three, four horsemen.
associate, or I don't know how you'd say it. They're
Oh, Oli.
yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I put that Sid and his scissors have joined the horsemen. Another reference we'll figure out later. But hey, Barry Windham's back.
yeah. Thank God.
That's cool. He didn't really fucking do much on this show, but
No.
he's back.
Uh, but yeah, their boss. Yeah, I wrote. Arn says their boss Oli has put together a plan to get rid of the big guy.
All right.
What do
The
you
big
think?
guy being El Gigante, who I still have never seen wrestle. Do, do you do you happen to have the Wikipedia up for this show right now?
Let's see. I do. Yeah, and actually I do.
Okay, hover your pointer over El Gigante and just look at the picture that pops up. Like,
Okay.
but don't click on it, but just the picture that pops
Oh,
up.
this is fucked up. They just show you his body, not his head.
His body, yeah, because he's has no head because he's so tall.
Giant Gonzalez. Okay, that's what I know him as.
Yeah,
Oh, he goes to
yeah. So
WWF. Let's go.
he's got a WrestleMania match ahead of him, man, against the Undertaker. Believe it or not.
What? He was in
Yeah,
the NBA? He was in the
I sure
NBA.
fucking hope so.
He got drafted in the NBA 1988 draft in the third round, but I mean, he never played.
Atlanta Hawks, of course.
Yeah, he never played because he was unable to adapt to the physical demands of NBA basketball.
Oh, yeah. I don't think he ever adapted to physical demands. Period. This dude didn't do shit.
Oh, of
The
course,
only thing he did was handcuff himself to Ole Anderson, and fuck, I can do that.
Ted Turner, who owned the Hawks,
Yeah,
offered Gonzalez a job.
yeah. I mean, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
I can't wait for fuck Dave Justice to get a WCW contract in the future. I was just trying to think of an Atlanta sports ball guy name.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Actually, that works out. Yeah. No, you're right.
I know it does. I know it
Fuck
does.
yeah.
Hank Aaron. Yeah.
Yeah. There
When
you
he'll have
go.
yeah. Chipper Jones. Let me keep going.
Chipper Jones. Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You're killing it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but our next match though, we have the Fabulous Freebirds versus the Steiner Brothers. Steiner Brothers making a case for, hey, I'm gonna be on everything just because I can.
Yeah. We definitely have seen a lot of Steiners, especially Scott,
Yeah,
since
especially Scott.
yeah, they clearly they're like, oh hey, Rick, you're cool and all, but
You're number two
our new
now.
our yeah, our new shiny toy is Scott Steiner. So keep him legal as much as you can.
Yeah. We've seen Rick grow though, exponentially.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, absolutely. He no longer he's not he's not playing the character of a complete moron anymore. He's
Yeah.
just a athletic guy that tags with his brother. He's a
He,
dog-faced gremlin now.
he he's his brother's bulldog
He sure is. He sure is. His
because
little brother's bulldog.
because his
He
bulldog
was
died.
he was Spike the whole time.
He was spiked the whole time. Yep. All right. I'm glad we
Okay.
came to that conclusion about Rick Steiner. Sorry, Rick Steiner. So sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
You were
Scott
gonna be world
becomes
champion at one point,
Big
and then they
Papa Punk,
fired this.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, Scott is just gonna be way more popular than Rick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
But I mean, to be fair, Rick had his like he had a whole single run before Scott was, he was on the show. So multiple TV title runs and cool shit like that, I bet.
I have a
He's
feeling you're
biting
not
asses now.
Yeah, he is. Oh my god.
It's not that I'm not a Rick Steiner fan. I just,
I was thinking you're not
historically,
a Scott Steiner fan.
Scott Steiner's fine. I don't I mean this version of Scott Steiner's whatever, but like Big Papa Pump, that guy's awesome. Also, I will say this, cool guy. There was a show at one point, it was like right before COVID got really crazy. It was in 2020 in Jasper, where he was on the show. Like he showed up and did an appearance for us. It was like
That's
he had just
awesome.
had like some kind of surgery or something like that. He was originally gonna wrestle, but then he had like surgery and he couldn't do it. But he still came and did the appearance for us. And we he had no reason to agree to do this, but he filmed a fucking like dumbass skit with us for just because we asked him to. It was awesome. And we were like, "Hey, you remember that promo you did in TNA where you like kept shouting Samoa Joe was fat? Can you do that to this guy when he's about to eat a cinnamon roll?" And he comes over and he just takes this like half-ass script we gave him and just goes fucking crazy with it, and even like picks up the cinnamon roll and goes, "You take this, you fat." It was awesome.
That's
So
awesome.
for that, Scott Steiner will always be one of my favorite people I've ever met. Just for that, like he could have easily told us like, no, I'm busy, or just, or at the very, or at most done, the bit of the skit we asked. But this dude improved on the skit we asked him to
He
do with
went
us.
above and beyond for you guys.
He
That's
went
awesome.
above and beyond for us, and like he had no reason to have to do it, want to do it, and he did it, and I'll never forget that. It was awesome. So Scott Steiner is one of my favorite people I've ever met.
Scott, thank you. We love you,
Yes,
Scott
absolutely.
Steiner.
But we told him thank you like 50,000 times that day. Every time we saw him, we're like, "Hey man, thank you." He's like, "Yeah, I know, I know." It's we're like, "No, no, you don't understand. Thank you."
Scott, this is for me personally. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Scott. I've never met you, but thank you.
I'll have to try to find it and send it to you. But it was dude, I loved it. It was a great time. Great, great moment. So anyway,
Scott's
the
son,
Freebirds jump start on the on the
not Braun
Steiner
Breaker,
brothers.
right? I always ask you this. Rick.
That's Rick's. Yeah. Although Scott Steiner's son does go to JSU, so not too far from
Yes.
us.
Yep. My alma mater.
Anyway, oh yeah, sure
Yes,
was.
sir. Shout out.
So Freebirds jump start on the Steiners. They double
Of
team
course they
Scott
do.
forever. The ref just lets it happen, and the ref does even less when Rick gets in the ring. Scott runs the heels over on the floor. This pause is fine. I'm okay with this one. as
Dude,
long
yeah,
as it's the only
Scott
one. But guess what? It's
fucks
not.
them on the floor, bro.
Yeah, he trucks them. Yeah. Ross tries to cover it up, but so it makes me hate it a little less. But I just can't help but feel like it's killing the momentum that it has. But it's okay because Rick will go and bite Michael Hayes' ass right here.
Steiner line. Sorry, I wanted to add it
Yep.
in. Because they do
Oh
a
yeah, dude.
Steiner line every 3 seconds.
And that's when you get the and he gets down on his hands and knees, and Scott stands over him, just like you said. He's Scott's bulldog now.
Hmm. Also, Rick
And then the
Steiner
first
wearing this
thing,
pink cheetah singlet or whatever, or
oh
whatever
yeah,
you call it. I love it. Uh, the crowd.
the,
Well, I won't say what the crowd sang. Uh, Yikes. You
I
wanna?
I noticed it, and then I didn't write it down, and now is it, wait, no, is it Michael is a bitch?
No, what they're referring to the Freebirds as.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. This must be when I was writing down that the Freebirds practically leave the building and then walk back before they're counted out.
Well,
So we get another pause and a stare down, but it at least gets a Freebird suck chant, so it goes away from whatever chant you were talking about. But
yeah. Uh, the ref tries to get them back in the ring, which you don't really see that often. The ref is the one who's making the extra mile, and he's going up the ramp to get them, right?
yeah, because usually they would just count them out and we'd be done with it. But for some reason, this ref wanted to see more Scott Steiner Rick Steiner match. This is where I wrote that my favorite chant I've ever heard happen. So it can't be the one you were talking about. It's Michael is a bitch. Michael is a bitch. This will probably be my favorite until we start watching ECW, where I can hear the chant, "She's a crack whore. She's got herpes. You suck dick." A lot of great, a lot of great chants from the ECW crowd in the
God,
future.
I can't wait for ECW.
Oh, dude, I think about it every day.
Yeah.
See, Rick hits two big ass slams of his own, but gets punched by Hayes and attacked by Garvin outside. They double suplex him on the floor. Then they start going to work on Rick, and that's how you know that Scott's the guy that they like now. He's getting the hot tags. Um, this power slam attempt by Rick Steiner is reversed in what I can best describe by it looks like it was magic. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? He goes to body slam. I can't remember if I think it's Garvin.
Yeah.
But instead of picking him up and slamming him, Garvin just like spins and he ends up slamming Rick from when he wasn't even like his feet weren't even on the floor. Like Rick body slammed himself and it looked like fucking magic. And it was the craziest thing I'd ever seen. Hey, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Some of the things that I had uh from this match, I had, the Rick biting his ass in the corner. But I mean the best
Mhm.
part about it is that Michael Hayes is like he's actually like fearing Rick Steiner. He's just like,
Yeah.
hands out, like leave me alone. He like cuddles up in the corner, like, and then he bites his ass. I just thought that was very funny. Um Michael Hayes hits a bulldog in this match. The ref distractions, these matches from now on, this match including the rest of the night, the ref is distracted every 2 minutes of the match.
Yeah,
Uh,
this ref has ADD, bro.
yeah. Uh, Garvin, Garvin uses a sleeper move. Uh, And then, we have Jim Ross and Bob Caudle. They're making fun of the Freebirds as well. The crowd here, joining in on the fun. Ah, man, God, you got to go back and just watch the match. You'll know. And everyone who wants to hear what they're saying, you just watch it. Um, Rick,
It's crazier than Michael is a bitch.
it is very crazy. Uh, uh, Rick, he does a diving bulldog and makes the hot tag. Scott then hits his power slam on Hayes and a press slam on Garvin. And then we get the double Steiner line, the
Yeah.
move. You should hit the Steiner line and make sure the commentator calls it a Steiner line for me,
Calls it a
okay?
sideline, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never do Hurricane Ranas, man. That shit's a Frankensteiner.
Garvin gets back into the ring and hits a DDT when the ref wasn't looking. Uh, and then,
Garvin hits the DDT, not Hayes, man. What the fuck?
yeah, or Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake hasn't hit a DDT probably since WrestleMania 2, if I had to guess. Uh, I don't even know if he was even on WrestleMania 2. Um, and
Wait,
here's
who
where
was?
I was saying Jake the Snake hasn't hit one since WrestleMania 2. Because I don't,
I feel like he debuted at 3, didn't he?
maybe, I don't know. But I was just saying, like, when was the last time we saw that shit? Uh,
Yeah, I don't know the last time I saw Jake hit a DDT.
yeah. But here's where, like, the confusion happens. Because in my brain, I do not remember who the fuck is the legal man. But the referee knew.
Neither does the ref.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, he knew. Uh, he knew that what's his name? Garvin wasn't the legal man, so he makes him get out of the ring.
right.
Yep.
Okay,
And then
yeah. You're right.
Rick, he then
Because
hits that.
he missed a tag.
He missed the tag.
Like
Yeah.
that, the Freebirds make a tag and the ref doesn't see it.
Hmm.
So the Freebirds probably should have won.
Yep. Because Rick hits a belly to belly on Hayes, and then Scott Steiner pins him for the win.
So this is the third belly to belly. The second one that's won. What is happening here? Do they
Hey,
not watch the show?
we love trends here on the show. We love a good trend. Uh,
I guess so. Yeah, that's why we have so many bear hugs in the other show.
we then go to Jim Ross and Bob Caudle. They're just talking about, their upcoming pay-per-view Halloween Havoc while this one is still going on. Um,
Man, I thought the next Halloween Havoc was gonna have the match like of Halloween Havocs, but I think I'm wrong. I'm thinking Halloween Havoc '91. Um,
91's really good. I still want to watch 90 because I really enjoy Halloween
oh,
Havoc.
we'll definitely watch 90, but 91 is the one with the fucking Chamber of Horrors match that I thought was happening.
And it's top tier.
Um, I mean, we'll talk about it for years to come for sure.
All right. Um, but yeah, so we go straight into our next match. I don't even want to talk about this. This next match makes me so upset. Uh, we have
It's certainly very weird.
yeah,
Sorry.
El Gigante, JYD.
El Gigante.
I wanted to try to switch it up every time. I was gonna say El Giant Man next time.
El
Um,
Giante.
put some Jim Ross twang on it.
Oh yeah.
Paul
El
Orndorff
Gigante.
versus Arn Anderson, Barry Windham, and Sid Vicious. Honestly, across the board, if Sid Vicious was, I mean, I hate to say it, but if he was just like 5 inches taller, this would be the most even match of all time. I mean,
Yeah, but
Sid,
instead he has to pretend that El Gigante is a giant and that he's not.
yeah, because I mean, what Sid's basically 7 foot,
Yeah, like Sid was a fucking skyscraper,
dude.
which would imply to me that he's tall. Did you catch that Paul Orndorff and Junkyard Dog are a team? They are called the Dudes with Attitudes.
Dudes with attitude. I hear them reference it later on when they show up again, but I
Yeah,
don't
they
remember
don't talk
hearing it
about it
here.
so much in the match.
Yeah.
They wait until they're not wrestling to call them by their fucking tag name, I guess. But later on down the line, Shawn Michaels and Diesel will be two dudes with attitudes. But this is the same. This is also two dudes who also have attitudes. Weird
Yeah,
how that
they
works.
do. But
So three people walk out, and they're called the Four Horsemen.
yep. Oh God.
I
Um,
gotta. I have to admit that I called something wrong here because when I saw these entrances, to me this screamed Four Horsemen win. But yeah, I've been wrong before, and I was wrong again. I guess. I don't really know what the fuck happened, but we'll get there.
I can't even
Will
tell
we
you how
ever?
this match ends. I I don't even know,
I think
really.
someone, I think a fucking horseman threw someone over the top. I guess because I literally have in my notes like horsemen are disqualified? Question mark.
Can I sum up this match in about
Absolutely.
45 to a minute seconds?
Yeah. Absolutely.
So you have three guys facing two guys and a giant. The three guys do a lot of tagging in and tagging out, but get nervous when the two guys bring them over to the corner because the 7'7" guy is here. Uh, also, they reference Andre the Giant in this match,
Oh, great.
which is kind of weird. Andre never in WCW, right?
I don't think so. I think he was a WWE lifer for sure, right?
Has to. Eighth wonder of the world. Um,
I mean, he might have wrestled in some like territory or some shit before he got to WWF, but like that was where he was pretty much. We got
because Jim Ross makes a comment, it's like even Andre the Giant would have to look up to um, yeah, even Andre the Giant would have to look up to him. So
I mean he so Andre wrestled on like World of Sport and some places in France and then pretty much just touring around wrestling until he got signed, like nowhere until he got signed to WWF and then that's just where he was. All Japan in 90 and 92, but fucking what?
All Japan
Okay,
in
dude.
'92.
Anyway.
Uh,
Oh yeah.
we get
Anyway.
the junkyard headbutts that we all love.
Oh
Um,
dude, I've missed him so much.
the 7'7" guy who couldn't play basketball comes into the ring and he scares them all away.
Yeah,
Uh,
they all leave.
the fans start chanting for the bad guys when they do the "We Want Sid" chant. And guess what? Arn Anderson's like, "Fuck it, ego," and tags him in. Literally the best use of the fan interaction here. Um, and yeah, the Horsemen they do frequent tags, on Paul Orndorff, um, until he finally gets the tag on JYD. The hot tag from him beats the shit out of
not
everyone.
not El Gigante. He
Yeah,
he literally crawls past the fresh giant to go tag in JYD, who also has been having his ass kicked.
yep. And then Sid enters the ring, starts choking JYD, and throws Orndorff over the top rope. Here's where I think the
There it
bad
is.
thing is. Igante then comes in, scares them away up the ramp, and then they get over the thing, and they're like, "Oh, hey, guess what? The Four Horsemen lost because they threw someone over the top
Yeah,
rope."
yeah, sure. Yeah. I thought the match was going really well until that weird shit happened at the end because they did this really good job of the heels don't want the team to get to the giant, so they'll isolate them. They did a great job of shining up both JYD and Paul Orndorff, and in a way, even El Gigante, just by putting over the fact that like we're terrified of him, we're not letting him get in this match because he'll fucking kill us.
Right.
So El Gigante never had to get in the match to look like a star. The Horseman did it for him just by like selling his size and the fear of it, and not letting his partners get there. And then they did a good job of beating the fuck out of both baby faces. And it seems like the only people who like nobody wanted not only did the heels not want Elegante in the match, Orndorff didn't either because like I said, he crawled straight past Elegante who's fresh and tagged in JYD. And then we got going to this fucking weird finish where the heels powder and they throw someone over the ropes to get disqualified. So fuck this match. I thought it was going really well, and then they just swept the rug out from underneath it. Fuck this match. Fuck Elegante. I don't know why he's here, other than he's big. He's not gonna add shit to anything he's involved in. He does not. He a spoiler adds nothing to the main event later on.
He handcuffs himself.
Yeah, and then they walk away, and then we never see him again.
Yeah, it is fucking lame. But Yeah, I actually can't wait to see him versus Undertaker. That's pretty cool.
All right. Well, when we get to WrestleMania 9, you remember that you said this.
Okay. uh,
Man, I'm going to say something here that I never thought I was going to say coming into this podcast. Thank fuck Lex Luger is here to
yes,
save this show for me. I can't believe it, but yeah, I said it. Lex
Superman's number
Luger.
one villain. Oh wait,
He's
that's
fucking
Luther.
here, dude.
Uh, yeah. Gordon Sully's interviewing him. He's asking him about mean Mark Callis.
He
Uh,
says it's not hard to rip a shirt.
oh God, I fucking love Lex Luger, bro.
I do, man. Um, NWA early WCW. Lex Luger's fucking killing it. This dude's been U.S. champion since we fucking started watching this shit. Uh, Short of like the one time he dropped it to Michael Hayes, and I don't even know if that title reign stuck because by the next show Luger had it back, and we were just like, Luger's been champion forever.
Thank God.
And here he goes with a new challenge of Mean Mark Callis.
Yep. Prediction: Sting will win. All right, cool.
Yeah. Well, him and Sting are best friends, so this one makes sense. He would care about this one because him and Sting are boys. Sting saved him in the last show or whatever. This one makes sense, but like, Harley Race and Jim Cornette shouldn't give a fuck about the main event, in my opinion.
Yeah. And now let's put this in layman's terms and uh refer to them as how we know. It's The Undertaker versus Lex Luger with Paul Heyman. Or Paul Heyman and The Undertaker versus Lex Luger for the
Yeah.
NWA US title match. Cameron, what did you think about this match?
Really good match as always. Lex Luger fucking delivers. I don't know if 89 90s Lex Luger is capable of having a bad match yet. He'll fall off eventually, but for now, Lex Luger's awesome, man.
Yeah, Lex is in my top
Um,
10 performers right now. Has to be. I mean, I don't know
yeah,
anyone else who could.
yeah. I think he's the number two on the WCW roster, especially with Steamboat, like Steamboat out of the picture. Because to me, he's better than Sting. And I get Sting's like the more fan favorite, and he's the new guy. But like I think Lex Luger's a far better wrestler than Sting at this point. But anyway, I noticed here Undertaker. He's wearing chaps and trunks. That's a little weird. And he raises his hands up and he throws them down to the ground, just like his little brother. Anyway, I'm really glad that this dude's gonna die and become a zombie by the end of the year because like he does fine in this match, but damn, it's so weird seeing this guy not as the Undertaker, isn't it?
I couldn't agree with you more. And his outfit choice is not how I see the Undertaker wearing that at all. Uh,
No, not even close.
God, I
Anyway,
cannot wait for him to show up.
they have a nice little power exchange with a stalemate, really good stuff. They continue back and forth with it for a while, and with some like small explosive sequences here and there, with Luger kind of getting the better. Paul, Paulie starts to like get on the phone, and like I don't know if he's like calling for help or he's calling to like talk shit on Luger to somebody, but I just love that he's using his phone, he's using his gimmick. That's awesome.
Now he's probably like,
Uh,
WWF, you want to pay how much for this guy?
they do this weird moment where like he throws one of the old rainbow clotheslines, which is when you know you're gonna miss a clothesline, so you intentionally throw it too high. You're not supposed to do that, but it still hits Luger like square in the fucking face. So they fall off track a little bit, but luckily they were kind of heading to a face shot anyway. So Callis gets control. Probably has to though, because he just accidentally punched Luger in the fucking face, so he's got to figure out where he is. Then he does, Landon. He grabs this dude's arm, he twists it, he walks up the turnbuckles, and he walks on the rope,
Old school,
and
baby.
he kind of, but he fucking did it. It literally is. It's so weird seeing old school done here, where it's not called old school yet because it's called old school because that was what he would do back in the old school days. So here it's just school, you know.
Yep. And guess what? Paul Heyman distracts the referee right here.
Absolutely, he does. Why wouldn't he?
He uh he distracts the referee. So Mark Callis can ram Luger into the guardrail. Just beat the shit out of him before bringing him back inside. Um, but yeah, you can continue. Sorry, I just want to bring up the referee
No,
got
you're good.
distracted.
Paul even like hits Luger with the phone and shit at some point.
Yeah. So what happens is, oh,
It's when the ref gets kicked in the torture rack, right?
right, yeah, yeah. So he gets up, yeah, but yeah, he accidentally hits the referee with Mark's leg, and then yeah, Paul he uses the phone on Luger, and then he tries to get the referee up. And then whenever the referee finally gets up and starts counting, Luger kicks out. Uh, and then Undertaker hits a clothesline, and then Luger kicks him, and then hits a running clothesline for the
Yeah,
win.
he's going for the heart punch.
I
His,
don't,
I
yeah,
guess his finish here is the heart punch. My original trainer's finish too, by the way, the heart punch.
heart
But
punch.
Luger kicks him and pins him with a fucking clothesline. A clothesline.
Heart, right? Not Bret Hart.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You punch Bret Hart, and then Lex Luger goes down for the pin. But yeah, the heart punch.
Yeah, and my
Um,
guy Lex Luger retains his title as it should be. And Undertaker is about to see greener pastures in WWE.
yeah, really good match. I thought. Really good match. I I I kind of wish Luger just beat him with the fucking rack because it would have been a good win for Luger to make a guy that big tap or not tap, but submit because you don't tap out in the 90s yet. But I guess they wanted to protect Callis for something, even though like we know it's not gonna matter because he's gonna be gone. Fucking change the business forever by the end of the year. But I don't know. I feel like Lex Luger, he's kind of your number two guy behind Sting right now because he's been the U.S. champ forever. I just don't get why he can't win with his finish and why he has to beat Mark Callis with a clothesline. Now, dropping a giant with a fucking clothesline is a feat in itself, of course, but that's not his move. You know?
Yeah, no, I would agree.
Yeah. But
Fucking,
either way,
fucking do the
good match.
tombstone.
Lex Luger Lex Luger delivers again. And I can't fucking believe it that I every show I'm just like, eventually Luger's gonna start to suck, right? Well, I guess I got some fucking time because he's not doing it yet. This was great.
Luger, does he ever go to WWF?
Yes, he will.
Nice.
93 maybe.
Good. I want to see Luger versus Macho Man.
He'll also hop back and forth. He'll
Fuck.
come back to WCW before
Dude, it's
because
about to
he
get really
shows up on
confusing. I'm
the
gonna have to start
first
taking.
episode of Nitro.
I'm gonna have to
Yeah, he
start
goes.
taking
He
notes.
comes back as the narcissist in '93.
What? He goes to WWF as the narcissist?
Yeah, and then it just becomes narcissist. Then he becomes like basically the all American guy after Hulk Hogan leaves.
Oh, I can't wait for that year.
It's a really fucking strange moment with him and Yokozuna.
Yeah, I can't wait for that because that means Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart are gonna be our two faces. So can't wait for that.
Oh yeah, things get kind of cool after Hogan fucks off.
Good. Yeah. After they show, Gordon Solie interviewing Sting. Uh, he's saying like his heart's pounding out of his chest, but his knee is, 100%. And yeah, he's saying like his crew of his band of friends are gonna be around the ring, so that the four horsemen cannot intervene, and he has no excuses if he loses. Um,
Yeah,
and yeah, let's go.
very baby faces.
Sting, really cool. No makeup here, just glasses. Can't see his eyes.
Yeah, dude. Prototype surfer for sure. Like if you go in 1990, like, hey man, you tell AI make me a surfer. They're gonna make this. They're gonna make Sting exactly as he was in that promo.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. Um, but yeah, next match we have champions,
Doom.
the NWA World Tag Team Title match. Champions Doom with their manager, ex-referee Teddy or Theodore Long, versus the Rock and Roll Express. Rock and Roll Express, love them. Grateful that they're getting a title shot. Grateful, grateful, grateful.
Yeah, last show we were like, you can't just have the best tag match on the show be with two teams that aren't one of your tag champions, and now both of those teams were in tag title matches on this
Didn't I
show.
have the Rock and Roll Express as my best match
Oh,
of
dude,
Wrestle
I
War?
don't think. Yeah, I don't think that it was even close last show. Like that was. I think that was both of our match of the night. Like
Yeah.
that tag match was fucking amazing.
Um,
I'm pretty sure we did. Yeah, match Rock and Roll Express versus Midnight Express.
damn. What do you think about this match? Sorry, just want to be
Uh,
Ron Simmons.
pretty. It was a fine match. I quite in. I was pretty happy with it. Hold on, I lost my fucking notes here. Damn it. There we go. We're at Doom and fucking.
Rock and
Sorry.
Roll Express, baby.
Yeah, dude. Doom are the first Black World Tag Team Champions. That's pretty
Shout
awesome.
out.
They're also jacked to the fucking gills.
Yeah.
They're massive dudes. I quite enjoy this match as well. I really like Doom as champions. I think Doom in general, they're just a pretty good tag team. They look great. Rock and Roll Express is an awesome tag team. They sold their asses off for these dudes. The heat that Ricky Morton takes is just so good, dude. He uh he just never dies, he'll never stay down. He'll take the beating. He'll take his licking, and he'll work to that hot tag. But he never just lays there and lets you kick his ass. He's gonna keep fighting back. He's gonna get his shit and like make you get that heat on him. He's not just give it to you. He's always fighting back. It's awesome. Like he'll even get a bit of offense where he kind of gets the upper hand, but while he's crawling to make the tag to Gibson, the other heel makes the tag and they'll come and get his ass before he can get the tag to Gibson. And like it's a tried and true formula that they've just kind of mastered.
Yeah, no, I would agree. Butch Reed. Uh, God damn. Congratulations on your come around, Butch Reed.
Yeah, he went from a natural with like one or two matches a year to World Tag Team Champions as a hacksaw now.
Oh yeah, he is Hacksaw Butch Reed. God, that's
Yeah.
so funny, bro. Oh my god. He
I Go ahead, go ahead.
no, you're fine. You go. I was gonna ask something stupid.
I was gonna say that I did like the detail of anytime the referee is distracted looking somewhere else, Doom doesn't waste time to grab Morton and toss him over the top rope.
Um, you think oh my god, what was it was the Dynam not the Dynamite dudes. What was that team in WWE where one of the guys just literally threw him at the other person and made him headbutt him and he like died for the rest of the match? Was that the British Bulldogs?
Oh, that was the British Bulldogs. Yeah, Davy Boy like threw Dynamite Kid at somebody.
Yeah, and he just like literally died for about an hour during the match.
Yeah.
He didn't do jack shit. Oh my god. But yeah, that's Ricky Morton in my view. He just yeah, like you mentioned, he never died. Never say die. The Cobra Kai motto is Ricky Morton. Uh, yeah, Ricky gets a backslide from the assist with Robert. Um, and then Simmons comes in, snaps Ricky against the bottom rope. Ricky's trying to get offense again, uh, but he just gets power slammed. Ricky Morton, rest in peace. In this match, I don't know. He's probably alive in real life. I have no clue. Um,
I don't know.
yeah, Doom.
Yeah, he is. He is. I just saw him. I was just on a show with him like a few weeks ago.
The Ricky Morton. You were on a show
Yeah,
with Ricky Morton.
yeah. He tagged with Mike Jackson. Believe it or not.
Oh God.
Yeah, they're wrestling on the Indies and shit right now. Ricky Morton does like the fucking Canadian Destroyer. It's really crazy.
Hmm. I gotta know how much they're getting paid.
I don't ask.
Um, but yeah, the end of this ring, all four of the men they end up in the middle of the
Mhm.
ring.
Even Teddy
Teddy,
Long.
yeah, Teddy Long's in there. Uh, and Robert sends Reed crashing onto him. Um, Long falls into the ring, and Gibson starts attacking on him. And then he just shoves Teddy across the ring. He just throws him, turns around. Butch Reed hits a flying shoulder block on him, and gets the pinfall for them to retain the championship. No title's been exchanged tonight yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yeah, it was a fine match, I thought. It was it was cool. I like I said, I really like Doom. This isn't quite what Rock and Roll did last time, but I mean, to be fair, yeah, it wasn't gonna be. Like nothing against Doom, but Doom is not gonna have the chemistry with Rock and Roll Express that Midnight Express has. But that being said, I thought Doom looked awesome. I'm really thrilled with what we're doing with Doom now. I'm glad the masks are gone. I'm glad that Woman is gone. I want to stay like this. Ron Simmons and Butch Reed, Doom with Teddy Long. This is awesome. Imagine imagine where a world where they still have Woman and they still have Mask, but Jim Ross has to still give football history. Doom One was a. Can I talk about it? As if he runs down Ron Simmons' football career, we might just be like, I think Doom One might be Ron Simmons. Does Jim Ross know that Doom One is Ron Simmons? But we don't have to worry about that. He can just go on about Ron Simmons' football history. And by the way, he does that while they all stop and stare at each other. So I'm gonna make a rule that if they do ever do the stopping and staring that I hate, as long as Jim Ross is talking about someone's sports history while that's happening, I'll forgive it.
Well, at least you got an open mind about it. You know what I mean? At least you care for it.
Yeah,
So.
I mean they're not gonna change. It just does not look like they're gonna fucking change. Every tag match had this.
Yeah, it was awful. Um,
I thought the match was fine though. If you take that out, like Rock and Roll's a good tag team, Doom is a good tag team. Ron Simmons is one fucking hell of an athlete in general. Butch Reed as
yes.
well. I think they look badass together, man. And then having Teddy Long right there with them just kind of seals it.
Yeah, they are pretty cool, and I love how Teddy is their guy. So
Yeah, he's
fuck
much better
them.
with them than Woman.
Yeah. Oh God, woman, bro, get out of here. Um,
Also not on the show.
yeah,
No Woman, no Missy Hyatt.
the first lady.
There's actually no women on the show at all. There's not a woman or women anywhere. Not even for the Freebirds this time.
Hmm.
Total sausage fest here.
Uh, oh my God. Yeah. After the match, we get a Ric Flair interview. Woo! Like you mentioned, empty arena, pre-recorded. He's bragging about his suit that he brought
Oh
from
yeah,
this
it's
victory
expensive as fuck.
celebration. Yeah. He begins talking about like how Sting's injury was career-ending, and he's coming back from it. Um, he's like Sting wants to be a man, but to be a man, you have to beat the man. Kind of like he's basically trying to be Roddy Piper from They Live and just say these one-liners um, to make him seem cool. Uh,
Pal, I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And
I'm
I'm
all out
all
of
out of bubblegum.
bubblegum.
Player impressions are my favorite because I don't do them very well. You just have to like twist your tongue up and scream every now and then. If you're bleeding, it helps it, but me bleeding for this wouldn't help the podcast at all.
Oh my God. But yeah, and so here we are, the main event. we have Sting coming back from his gruesome knee injury, fighting against the one, the only Ric Flair for
And an
the
actual nature boy.
for the NWA World Heavyweight title. And what'd you think about the match?
This match was really solid. Um, I didn't think it was as great as any of the Steamboat or the Lex Luger matches, but I still thought this was a pretty good match. I think they told a very good story of Sting. Like, he's trying his hardest not to like let any of the of the leftover pain or wear and tear from his knee and the knee injury. He's trying to not let that show, but Flair's like, yeah, I'm not stupid, so he keeps targeting it, and throughout the course of the match, Sting's like, fuck, this knee actually still kind of sucks, but he never stops fighting. He even hulks up like 50 fucking times. I did like that not a single time in this match did Sting ever sell a Flair chop. Flair chopped this dude to the point where you can see Flair's fucking handprint on him afterwards, and he never sold a Flair chop. I thought that was really great. I think they told a great story here. They have the army of baby faces surrounding the ring to prevent the interference of the Horsemen, and I guess it fucking worked because the Horsemen never really played into this match that much at all. Like
No,
I
yeah.
think they tried to
They
come out at one
tried to,
point,
yeah.
and then they looked down like, oh fuck, a bunch of people we've already fought tonight. Oh no.
Fuck, is that 7'7" guy out there? Oh yeah, he is. Wait, is he
Yeah,
handcuffed to
he's
someone?
chained to Ole. Yeah. Oh fuck, we better not mess with him. He'll hit us with
Yeah.
Ole.
Yeah, you know what? Let's
Because
just
who all was out there? He had Paul Orndorff, Junkyard Dog. Oh, and the Steiners.
the
Okay,
Steiners,
cool.
yeah.
So they are outnumbered, I guess.
Yep.
Let's see. Stiff lockup, Sting having the strength advantage. Flair does the begging off after some big shoulder tackles. Works into the corner from chops and Sting's unfazed. Gorilla presses Flair. Flair rolls out after a drop kick to the walkway, but Sting follows him. No selling even more chops outside the ring. He gets hit toss on the ramp. Clothesline in the ring. You'll sell now, asshole. But it's all Sting in the early going, and then he gets that eye poke. That shit is shut down. But Sting kind of takes back over with a big crossbody. Ross points out he's going to test the knee early, but it's when he goes up for the big crossbody. Uh, Sting says he's 100%, but it's still playing into the story of the match very well. And Flair ends up. That's when he starts to go for the knee. Sting fights through. He fights through the pain, but he showed the indication that the knee's still kind of affecting him, and that is Flair's shark blood. Like that's Flair's him being a shark, smelling the blood in the water. Let's see, and then all of a sudden we get the 10 minutes gone by announcement, and those were the fastest fucking 10 minutes ever.
They were, bro.
See,
The
Flair alternates chopping Sting and kicking his knee. Like he'll chop him in the chest, kick his knee, chop him in the chest, kick his knee.
It was
As we get to that part
left
where he's in
knee,
that
right?
control phase. What's up?
Left knee?
I think so. I don't remember. Let's see. Sting. They end up going to the outside where Sting gets sent into the barricade, still being unfazed by chops, and Flair tries to beg Sting off again. Sting pounds on Flair's head. Flair goes up top, but he's Ric Flair, so anyway, Flair gets back onto the knee, even from a prone position, just to create some breathing room. And then Flair starts to slowly dissect that knee. Then he starts going for the figure four. He gets shoved off. More chops, more chops, more chops. Let's see. And then after the chops, after it's finally hitting that the chops aren't gonna work, he really starts to have panic. Um, and then that's where we get another big gorilla press, and then Sting starts to mount his comeback, and he goes for the 10 punches in the corner. Just kidding, only 4.
1, 2, 3, 4. Get the
And you
fuck
can
out of
always hear
here.
that disappointment.
Yeah.
You can always hear that disappointment
Ah.
because they're like 1, 2, 3, 4.
You
Fuck.
know when you're playing Wii bowling and you accidentally throw it behind you? It's like, ah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Get a fucking gutter ball. They accidentally throw it to the lane over.
Yeah. You're like, oh,
Let's see.
god damn it.
Sting. We get the big Stinger splash, and he goes for the Scorpion Deathlock, but the crowd loses their shit for it. But then as he gets that in, that's when the rest of the Horsemen appear. But they're held off by the baby faces. And that's kind of the end of that when it comes to the Horsemen.
Yeah, so what happens, it's like they literally come out and they're trying to press him. I think two of them start fighting, but then quickly like, oh wait, no one else is fighting. Let's just back off and act like we're gonna hit each
Just
other.
leave.
Uh, yeah, it's kind
Am
of
I
just like,
missing anything?
no, you're killing it so far. I can finish it out if you want me to. The rest of the
I
match.
Yeah, sure, by all means. I tend to just like my note taking has evolved from just writing down things I liked about the match to literally just writing out like the play by play of it. I don't know. It helps me like remember the match better and in a way appreciate it more.
Um, but yeah, so what happens is, yeah, he has the Scorpion Deathlock in. The Horsemen come out. After the little thing with the Horsemen, Rick finally reaches to the ropes to break the hold. Um, Flair and Sting, they start to fight again. Um, Ric Flair tries to pin Sting with his leverage, with the ropes and
This was
everything.
hilarious.
Um, Scott Steiner pushes Flair's legs off the ropes. Um, which, okay, play
Ric Flair
fair, I
kind of
guess.
gets fucked over in this
Yeah,
match, dude.
yeah. Um, and then they start doing some like reverse through a backslide. Rick starts doing some chops on him again, and Sting's like, I don't give a fuck about these, Rick. Like, hit me all you
He
want.
doesn't.
Nuh-uh. And then
His chest is like blood red at this point, by the way.
Sting charges Rick in the corner, tries to hit him with a knee. Flair moves out of the way.
As the
It's
camera cuts to the crowd right when
Yep,
he misses that knee for some reason.
yep. And so you don't get to see it.
Nope.
And he's like, "Oh shit! I guess he hit his knee." He's like the Peter Griffin when he falls down the stairs and he's grabbing
Yeah,
his
yeah.
knee.
Ah.
Yeah. um,
Great comparison. Great reference.
Flair tries to do the figure four, but Sting rolls him up and gets a crazy 3 count. Fans go
Oh yeah,
crazy. Sting is our new champion.
pretty great.
His buddies start to celebrate him, and the fireworks explode.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we did. We get the big old firework display to show everybody. This is a big moment, and I love that Sting like his celebration is he just leaves. He tries to leave, and they're like, Sting, hey, how do you feel? Sting is fucking exhausted. He's like, Flair's the greatest champion of all time, and I promise I'm gonna do my best. I gotta go throw up, dude. Please leave me alone.
Yeah, like fuck off, bro.
I'm so tired, dude. Please. I just wrestled Ric Flair for 16 fucking minutes, dude. I'm exhausted. But this is I thought, like I said when we started talking about this match, I thought it was a really solid match, but it was an even greater moment. The crowd was excited for someone not named Ric Flair to be the champion because
Yes.
you can tell in this era, like even though we talk about Hogan on the other show and like as great as Flair is, having somebody new with a championship, especially someone that's never held it before, God damn, that is such a good feeling.
Yep.
Especially if you saw it. Like even as much as I haven't really enjoyed the Cody Rhodes championship run, seeing him beat Roman after all these years, and it being Cody's first world title, it felt good to see it. And this
Yep.
being Sting's first big title, like his first major. I mean, he was TV champion, but this is like the big one. This is the world title, and it came up after a career-threatening injury. This was the time to put the title on Sting and to go with Sting, and they did it. Sting came off like a star. Flair made him look great, winning the belt from him. Uh, Yeah, and like he even makes sure to put Flair, put Flair over in his promo. Like I said, he is Flair's the greatest champion of all time, and I'll do my best to fill those shoes. Weird promo for sure, but whatever. He just won the belt for the first time, and his chest is red as fuck. He's he's exhausted. He wants to go to the back and change and take a shower and all that shit, and probably soak in this because I can only imagine that what this feels like coming back from that injury, beating Ric Flair of all fucking people, pinning him after, Flair's been champion for over a year now. Like, he won the belt at the last Wrestle War. Or not last Wrestle War, last year's Wrestle War in like March, right? Like March or April or something like that. Like
Yeah, I think
Flair's
it's
been champion for a
March.
minute. So it's cool to see this and I'm sure this was like a great moment for Sting. It's a big moment for the crowd. They fucking loved it. Really good moment from a really good match, I thought.
But yeah, here you go first this time. What'd you think about the show?
Okay. The first half of the show was weak as fuck. It had its moments, but nothing really sticks out. Southern Boys were good. Dutch was great, but it didn't feel like anything other than Sting mattered on this show. Though again, Lex Luger had a phenomenal showing. Um, Again, Ric Flair. I say this every show, but goddamn, he's so good. Last show I said Rick. Even though Hulk Hogan is nowhere close to Ric Flair in ring, but Ric Flair ain't Hulk Hogan. Well, let me tell you, brother, Hulk Hogan, he ain't no Ric Flair.
No,
I
not
gave
even
this
close.
2.75 Russian ass Asians if 2.5 is not allowed.
Okay. Hey, you know
if
what? Make up any number you want.
but I gave Performer to Sting. You could debate Flair, of course, but this was Sting's time to show that he's a main eventer, that it's time for him to be the guy on top. And I think he more than lived up to it. I think he put his best foot forward and had the performance of a lifetime. And you know, he received the call of duty, and he fucking showed up. He did it. Sting fucking killed it. Matches Sting and Flair, obviously, but I think I think you can make a somewhat of a an argument for either Doom and Rock and Roll Express or Lex Luger and Mark Callis. Maybe even Dutch Mantel and Doug Furnas if you really want to stretch it. Uh, but promo, I gave that to Freebirds. Nothing with four wheels we can't ride or we can't drive, and nothing with four legs that we can't ride. That's amazing. Moment for me is Sting winning the title, and my segment was Vader's debut. So a lot of Sting heavy shit in the awards here, but like that's what this show was for. This was the show that solidified Sting as the new guy. That's really all I got for Great American Bash. Not my favorite show, but definitely not the worst we've watched.
Glad to see Sting as a world champion. It's pretty cool to see.
It really is.
So for me, I went a little lower. I went two Russian Asians out of five.
Fair
I'm
enough.
gonna give out an award. Worst performer. Congratulations, Buddy Landell. Give it up for Buddy. Give it up for Buddy.
All right, yeah.
Uh, uh, oh, also I gave another award. Congratulations, Doug Furnas, Dutch Mantel, for being the most Doug Furnas and Dutch Mantel match of all time.
It really was.
Claps,
I couldn't
claps,
imagine a
claps.
more Doug Furnas versus Dutch Mantel match.
But yeah, performer of the night, easily Sting. I'm gonna agree with you on some of these. Moment of the night, Sting winning the World Heavyweight Championship. I mean, it is so fun to see Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan
Mhm.
lose,
It really is because you don't see it a lot.
especially in the same year.
Back to back shows, man.
Um, I don't know how lucky we got, but I assume Ric Flair will have it in a month from now when they get tired of Sting. And I assume Hulk Hogan will
Well,
have it in 3 days from now.
the main event of Halloween Havoc is Sting versus Sid Vicious for the title.
Sid Vicious, shout out Sid Vicious, man. Let's fucking go.
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. That's awesome. And well, that means Sting's gonna keep it because why the hell am I giving Sid Vicious the title? Uh,
Oh man, just just wait for a few more years.
Lex Luger versus Undertaker is cool just because you know what they all become. Is what I like about it. Paulie
Right.
Dangerously being back was awesome. Uh, we got to see JYD again, which was always fun. Um, yeah, the you know what? I'm gonna give second favorite match of the night to Midnight Express and the Southern Boys. Just because I love Jim
Okay.
Cornette. And I didn't think it was too bad of a match.
No, it was a good match. It was fine.
The ending was kind of funny. The Southern Boys are awful.
The ending is hilarious.
Let's just go back to Midnight versus Rock and Roll, and we'll call it a day.
It
Um,
lets, man.
but yeah, that's it here. Uh, Cameron, SummerSlam, right?
Oh man, we do have SummerSlam coming up, and let's see. I know I've told you a little bit of what the card looks like. Um, we have let's see, we have Mr. Perfect as the new Intercontinental Champion. He'll be defending that title. And
Let's
then we
go.
also have hold on. We have let me just pull it through that. We got a new tag team of Paul Roma and Hercules called Power and Glory. Hmm. Randy Savage versus Dusty Rhodes and Queen Sherry versus Sapphire. Heart Foundation versus Demolition. Fuck yes. Hulk Hogan versus Earthquake. Ultimate Warrior versus Rick Rude. We got a pretty nice little show there. Yeah. Yeah. SummerSlam.
I don't know how
And
it's
this
gonna
time it
top
doesn't
last year
feature
with Zeus, but
I was about to say this time it doesn't feature Hulk Hogan's co-star in a movie, so unless Hulk Hogan and John Tenta made a fucking movie about earthquakes or something, but I doubt it.
dude, I cannot wait for Jesse Ventura's movie. I cannot
Is
wait to
the
watch
star
it.
of They Live on this show?
Is he?
I don't see him on here.
God damn.
Man, hey, look though, in a dark match, Shane Douglas defeats Buddy Rose. That's that's one half of the Dynamic Dudes, man. The Dynamic Dudes is split. Shane Douglas is a WWF guy now.
I thought you were gonna say in a dark match, Red Rooster defeats uh the Brooklyn Brawler.
No.
Two dudes that have kind of fallen off.
Well, Brooklyn Brawler never has even fallen on.
Hey, my guy, bad news on the card.
He is. He is.
Thank you, God.
He is wrestling Jake Roberts.
Let's go. Okay. That match will end in DQ or count out.
It's a safe bet.
Yeah.
And
Um,
whatever match Jim Duggan's in will end that way too.
yeah. Oh God. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have any final words?